Hi guys, my name is Victor One from Western Television, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can create an animation. These are corporate slides which you can always use them to do your presentations or even do your promotions. So let's dive in and see how this is done.
Now let's get started. Let's start by creating a new composition and call it our main comp, main 1920 by 1080, a frame scale, frame size 30, and hit OK. So I'm gonna start by creating a rectangular shape. So I'm just gonna go over here and double click on the rectangular tool. Now let's bring down the stroke to 0. We only need the fill, so click on the fill, choose your color, open the properties of the shape layer 1 and click on the rectangle part 1. For the roundness, adjust it in this manner, just drag this to around, then unlink these and adjust the these values to around 5,000, around there. And for the height, go for something around 2,000, around there. Okay, now let's make it a little bit more curvy by adjusting the roundness value to around 1,200 and something, around there. Let's decrease the size a little bit, around there, to around 4,500. And for the height, let's bring it a little bit down. Let's use 1300. Let's just rename this to shape 1. Now let's go ahead and animate this. Let's move our timeline to 2 seconds. You need to create a keyframe, therefore just hit letter P on your keyboard to open up the keyframes, and bring this side holding shift just like that and hit your keyframes. And now you should have a simple animation like this. Let's select our keyframes, then hit F9 to ease them. Click on the graph editor button. Click on the graph editor button to access this graph, then adjust it in this manner. Just drag the points to the right and this one, and you have a nice animation like this. Okay, you can now close graph editor. Now let's create a new composition for our image so that you can always just be dragging and dropping in the image. Let's just name it media_01 and dragging our image in here, then drag our image in here. Just scale the image down so that it fits into the composition. Then in the main composition, just drag in drag media01 into our main composition. Then change the track matte by clicking on this button at the bottom here. Change this track matte to alpha matte shape 01. Then I'll duplicate this shape by clicking Ctrl D so that we have shape 2. Then displace this by mostly 1 frame. Yes, 1 frame will work. Then we have this really simple animation. Because this is going to be our background, I'm going to change the shape color to a little bit grayish color. The color like this. Let's copy this color code, paste it on this one. Then on the media, I'm going to click on the media, then click on layer, then navigate to layer style, then click on stroke. Then under the properties, the layer styles, then stroke, make this color white, then increase the stroke size to around 5, so you have this simple and nice animation. Now let's select all these layers and give them a color for identity. Let's say yellow. Then let's hit Ctrl D to duplicate them and then bring the layers up, then give them a different color. Let's hide these yellow compositions. Let's hide these yellow shapes and composition so that we just have a copy of these files. Now let's select all the layers and open their properties so that you can see their keyframes. Let's go to 2 seconds and drag these keyframes so that they can match. Select both the layers. While holding shift, I'm gonna drag it maybe somewhere around here. Then select just the top shape, that's shape 04, then adjust it in this manner. Just drag it a little bit behind, so you have this really simple animation that stops just at the center like that. Now let's duplicate the media file by just clicking Ctrl D on our keyboard. Now you can see it has only taken the upper shape as the alpha matte. Now let's turn off shape 4, then we have it here. We don't need the stroke style, so let me just click on this and disable it. So let's click on the top shape. Let's add a tint into it, just like this. Depending on the computer you are using, you might find these effects on a different panel, and the curves as well in this manner, a little bit darker, just like this. So we surely have this nice animation, and there we have it. It's cool. Now let's go to the media composition, open it by double clicking on it. Let's create a keyframe at the very beginning of it, then go to around 3 to 6 seconds and scale up to around 42% like this. And let's see what we have. Very nice. Now let's add some shallow to give it some more depth. Now let's select the bottom the bottom media file, media composition. Before that, let's duplicate the shape file, our shape file, which is shape 04, so that we have it like that. Then give it a black color, drag this below and give it a different color so that you can see it properly. Hit U on your keyboard and adjust it in this manner. Then let's add this effect called fast blur. Repeat each pixels, and as you can see, it's not working as we had planned. So what you can do is add a CC composite and drag it below. Then we have this really nice blur. Then we're going to add some text into our composition here. Just click on the text tool over here and type in here simple. Then I give it a little bit darker color, increase its size. You can use any text that you want. Give it size of around 150. There we go. And instead of using just a simple text animation, let's try and come up with something nice. Just open its properties, then click on the animate, then choose position, then on position range selector, add one property for the opacity as well. Let's bring down the opacity to 0, and for the position I'm going to set it at -1000, just like this. Go to the range selector, then advanced, then let's change this shape to ramp down. And for further for the shape is high, just set it to 50, and is low 50. Then you can animate it using this offset. And start, let's give it 100 and offset in this manner. Let's say 100. Let's go at 1 second and put a keyframe at the offset. Then go to 3 seconds, then set it to -100. So you have this nice animation. As you can see, it's nice. Let's select all the keyframes, then hit F9 on your keyboard to ease it. We now have a text animation. Remember that you've just animated shapes, image, now this text animation. Let's duplicate it by hitting Ctrl D on our keyboard and just drag this below and type in something different like presentation. Make it smaller just like that. Let's align it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's now see how it's animated. Okay, so far so good, and I believe that it's looking nice. We've learned how to animate images. We've also learned how to animate shapes, and now we've just learned how to animate text. I'm now going to duplicate the simple text up here and get rid of the keyframes, because we don't need any animation on this, as it's going to be our accent. Accent is simply an outline of the, make it a little bit bigger, just like that. Let's go to 5 seconds. Hit P to bring out position properties and adjust it this way, just by dragging it. I create a keyframe, then go back to 1 second and drag it a little bit to the left, so that we have this simple animation. A really slow movement, just like that. Let's hit letter T on the keyboard to bring down opacity, and then create a keyframe. Let's drag this up so that we can have a better view. Then drag this simple layer 2 to below the shape layer 5. So that we have this really nice accent. We can also add some description for this text if we wanted to. Just like this, click on the text tool, then draw a square just like that. So in this square we can write the text that we want. Let's set our font size to around 25, then set this to book or any other font of your choice. Then you can add in here any description that you want, a bit bigger. For the color, let's go for a little bit gray color. Now the next thing is that we are going to add here some accents so that it becomes a little bit more presentable. So let's just click on pen tool, then set the stroke to around 50, then the color, set it to this one, then create a shape by just drawing using the pen tool while holding shift, then using the stroke adjust it to around this size, then open its properties, then add trim paths, open trim paths properties, then animate it in this manner. Somewhere around there. Let's create a keyframe, go back in time around 1 second and set it to 100, then drag it in this manner so that we have this simple animation. Also go to the stroke and add this rounded cap and put this below this shape layer. Hit U so that we can see the keyframes. Select the keyframes, then hit F9 to ease them. Go into the graph editor and pull, select these anchors, then pull them in this manner, just like this. Then we have this nice animation. Then this is it. This is how you can use this animation. This is how you can create this animation. It's simple and direct to the point.
I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I believe that through the skills that you've garnered from this tutorial, you're going to do all your presentations in this manner and also design your promotions in this manner. Don't forget to subscribe on this channel, but also to check on Mr. Television's channels for more content. My name is Victor One Orende.